Okay, today we're going to be exploring rates. First, a rate we get a rate when we have a ratio that has units of measures that are different. So here's a for instance. If I had 6 miles to 8 miles, this would not be a rate because the units for each one are miles. This would be a ratio. How can I go about turning that ratio into a rate? If I made it 6 miles in 8 hours. 6 miles to 8 hours. Now you'll notice that my unit on top is mile and my unit on bottom is hours. Now I have turned this into a rate. Again, a ratio becomes a rate when the units of measure are different. Here I had miles over miles. That meant it was still a ratio. By changing my bottom unit to hours and leaving the top unit miles, I have created a rate. I get what is called a unit rate when my second unit of measure, my second measurement is 1 unit. So my second measure is 1 unit. So an example would be 8 apples picked in 1 day. Notice that the second measure, the bottom number, is 1. This is called a unit rate. We use unit rates when we want to compare more than one rate because it's very easy to compare if they both have a denominator of 1 or a bottom second unit of 1. Unit rates. So how can I go about changing a rate to a unit rate? Here I have 40 points in 5 games. I want to know how much he scored in 1 game. Remember that all fractions are division problems. So I can divide to turn this into a unit rate. We read left to right, top to bottom. That means I will be dividing 40 by 5. And of course 5 goes into 40 8 times. My numerator is going to be 8 points. And that will leave my denominator of 1 game. He scored 8 points in 1 game. If you divide, it will always take you down to a unit rate. Another option would be to pull out the common factor. So if I have 40 over 5, both numbers are divisible by 5. And that will give me a denominator of 1. And remember, for a unit rate, I want 1 unit on bottom. So 40 divided by 5 is 8. Remember that was 8 points. And 5 divided by 5 is 1, and that was 1 game. So again, 8 points in 1 game. This is a unit rate. In addition to unit rate, you might also be asked to find a unit price. A unit price is just simply how much does it cost for 1 item. So this is the price for 1 item. Okay, using a unit price, we can easily compare 2 different prices. You'll use this a lot of times when maybe you're compare shopping between Walmart and Sam's or something like that. You want to know what's the better buy. So here we have Superstore, and it's selling 5 table tennis balls for $1.95. And then we have Sports City. They're selling 6 table tennis balls for $2.28. What's the better buy? Well, we can do this by finding the unit price. Remember, I told you to find a unit rate, you just simply divide. The way that we divide is it is price per item. That means I'm always going to be putting my money on top. So my money for 5 balls is going to be $1.95, and I will be dividing that by 5. When I do this division, I discover that it is 39 cents for 1 ball. Now I've taken it to a unit rate. I'm going to use that same math to see how much Sports City sells 1 ball for. So here we'll take again, it's price per item. That means the price gets put on top. We'll put the $2.28, and we'll be dividing it by 6 this time, because remember, Sports City is selling 6 table tennis balls for $2.28. And when I do that math, I discover that Sports City's balls are 38 cents for 1 ball. Taking it down to the unit price, it's very easy to tell which is the better buy. The question actually ends with which is the better buy, so we need to take the time to go ahead and write that out. The better buy will be the 38 cents for 1 ball. That means that Sports City has the better price. So we'll just say that Sports City has the better buy. And that will take care of it. We've shown our work and we've answered our question.